Suggestions for improving the active listening skills. This was the only topic which was left to before the completion of our last topic. I mean, last unit. So, what was it, Ante? Suggestions for improving active listening skills. Am I right? So, make eye contact. Lack of eye contact may be interpreted. Hello? Yeah, yeah. Lack of eye contact may be interpreted as disinterest or disapproval. So make try to whenever you try to communicate with somebody, try to maintain a proper eye contact with with full confidence. Like it will drag the attention of the listeners to the sender's message, whatever they are speaking. Making eye contact with the speaker focuses attention. Yes. Sir, it's not audible, sir. స్పీకర్ అయితే ప్రాపర్ గానే ఉంది ఇక్కడ. Is somebody trying to say something? Special sound. Volume mixer. Yeah. So try to maintain eye contact whenever you speak to somebody. Whenever you are, speaking with somebody, try to maintain a proper eye contact. That is the first thing to improve your listening skills. Next is, the avoid distracting actions or gestures. Do not look at other people, play with the pens or pencils, shuffle papers or alike. These activities make the speaker feel like the listener is not interested in what is being said. So whenever you're speaking, try to avoid all these distractive actions like playing with the pens or shaking your legs or shuffling the papers. Okay, so that could be the one more suggestions to improve your listening skills. Next is ask questions. Questioning helps ensure clarification of what the speaker is saying, facilitates understanding, and lets the speaker know that the listener is engaged. Through asking questions, whenever the speaker says like is there any doubt or something, try to speak out, give suggestion, ask some questions. It shows your interest, and it shows that you're listening to the speaker. Ask asking questions is one best thing to improve your listening skills. Next is the paraphrase. Paraphrasing means restating what the individual has said in different words. So most of you must be aware of. So paraphrasing is nothing but there will be a written text. You have to reframe it without losing the meaning of the message. This technique allows the listeners to verify that the message was received correctly. Avoid the interrupting the speaker. Allow the speaker to complete his or her thought before responding, and do not anticipate what or she will say. Okay? Whenever the speaker is speaking, let her complete her version. He or she. Let them speak out. After she finishes her lecture or whatever she wants to tell to you, after that you can store, put up your questions or whatever the queries you have. Next is do not talk too much. Talking is easier than listening intently to someone else. An active listener recognizes that this is impossible to talk and listen acutely at the same time. So this is the conclusion of the unit 3, I think. Yeah, unit 3, that is barriers to communications. Next comes interpersonal media. What do you mean by interpersonal media? We have already discussed about interpersonal communication, the communication that happens between two people, face-to-face contact, like, right? Do you people remember? Intra and interpersonal. So I don't go into the details of that. I'll straight away go to the value of interpersonal here. Is there someone saying something? Value of interpersonal theory. Several theories of communication are studied by the academicians. The age-old theory of Aristotle, rhetoric theory, about three elements in communication. That is, social scientific theory, normative theory, working theory, and common sense theory. Social scientific theory discusses about the nature, working, and effects of communication derived from systematic and objective observations. So the first one happens to be the social scientific theory. What does it say? Ante, it speaks about the nature, working, and the effects of communication derived from the systematic and objective observations. The normative theory is concerned about the social values to be observed. It helps in shaping media institutions and the expectations of social agencies. Next comes the working theory, which is based on daily performances of media practitioners. Lastly comes the common sense theory, which speaks about the knowledge and ideas which everyone acquires by virtue of experience. So these are the four theories of communication which are highly spoken about. Like, the fact that message are merely conveyed do not guarantee that communication will take place. There are three levels of communication: what the sender says, what the sender thinks he says, what the receiver thinks the sender says. So these are the three levels at how your message being processed. First ఏంటంటే what the sender, what the speaker is speaking, what the speaker thinks the message. Am I?
Hello, madam. Hello, not able to hear you, madam.
Sorry for that interruption. Due to the bad weather, I have a network issue here.
Please
So,
continue.
Peter F. Ducker explained the crucial role of communication, including interpersonal communication in management, in the following ways. How, what does a Peter Ducker spoke about communication theory? And he says that the manager has a specific tool, that is information. He does not handle people. He motivates, guides, organizes people to do their work, to do their own work. His tool, his only tool to do all this is the spoken or written words or language. What a Peter Duff trying to explain ante the relationship between a manager and the employees working under him. What is a tool he can motivate or guide his employees ante through a through a speech, right? Through a circular. So more than the written words, the verbal communication, so has its great impact on the employees. This is what Peter Ducker trying to explain. No matter whether the manager's job is engineering, accounting, or selling, his effectiveness depends on his ability to listen and to read, on his ability to speak and to write. He needs skill in getting the thinking across to the people as well as. So what is he trying to explain? And a manager should be a good communicator, whatever whichever field he is. He should be a good listener. First of all, what are the employees are, coming up with suggestions, what are their views? He should be a good listener. Basing on the views, recommendations, suggestions he receives from the employees, he should come up to their rescue, working on the suggested things, list of things suggested by the employees. And his speech, his words, whatever articulation of words he is using, it should be highly motivating. It should be encouraging a teamwork. It should be having a positive approach of all the teammates working towards attaining a goal. So this is what Peter F. Drucker was speaking about. Then comes role and impact of oral communication in employees and community relationships. What is your understanding? Do oral communication has its impact? Of course, oral communication has its great impact on the listeners. Whatever the field you take, it can be spiritual, it can be educational, or it can be office level, industry level, whatever. As a motivational speaker, of course, you should be the articulation of words, whatever the words you are using when you are speaking towards people, motivating them, guiding them. You should design in such a fashion. You should be good with the vocabulary, articulation, extempo, the language which you use through oral communication, spoken language. It has a great impact in pulling the people's towards your speech. He's a good orator. Like somebody like Jaggi Vasudev, I was telling about him in the previous classes. He's a motivational speaker. Or the ISKCON monks, you get to see a lot of reels when you shuffle your Instagrams or other pages. You get to see many motivational speakers. More of the, videos which are oral spoken, which are word of mouth, has its great impact. When there is a lengthy message, though you have a great message for the people, but when it is spoken through words, it has its own impact. A written one may or might not have its impact in dragging the attention of the listeners or the viewers or the readers. That is what he's trying to explain in this oral communication and its impact. So let me read out the few points from here. Oral communication is the best way of communication. It gives the advantage of informing the receiver the exact message depending on the level of the receiver. We can explain him in his own language and in detail, but it may not be possible when large groups are concerned. In case the communicator is ineffective, the message may not percolate. That means receive to the desired level, but it has to feel the personal touch. The chairman and the managing director addressing the employees on the achievements and problems faced by the organization in detail will definitely give an impression of personal touch. The reaction of the employees will be positive and proactive. They will raise to the occasion to save the organization and strive hard to keep up the image. See, whenever I'm having an online class, I make sure that I read out some of the names listing on the list of participants I get through. Just to pull your attention, I keep calling sometimes. The other day somebody was calling me some Konda Sami sir, or
Yes.
Ali Beg sir, like few people, they keep calling me. Whenever I'm in the class, I just don't go in an extempo, in a monotonous class like one way dialogue. I keep calling out the names, like is somebody in the class, who is this, and I call out your names. It gives a personal touch. It shows that yes, madam is calling, she is focusing on us. Okay, and your attention will be pulled back to the class.
Yes.
That is what he is trying to explain in this impact of oral communication. Next comes the feedback. What is the feedback? What is its important? And of course, the feedback plays a major role. The major elements of communication include source, message, channel, receiver, and the feedback. Communication involves transmission of message from source to receiver, and the feedback from receiver to the source. If a communication has to be successful, Feedback plays a major role. Whatever the communication you are doing, oral, written, whatever, feedback has to be encouraged. Receiver has received your message and he should be given a chance to express his grievances, to express whatever the suggestion. Feedback should given a place in communication. Until there is a feedback, you don't want to have done. So whenever I'm teaching a topic, I keep asking from people like, do you have is the way we have to build up our lecture. Feedback is very, very important in communication. Whether receiver has received your message properly or not, through feedback only one will be knowing about it. Am I clear with that? Next
Yes.
comes group communication. What do you mean by group communication? Anyone? Group communication. And
Sending and receiving multiple
I don't know this
messages.
nature cure one. I don't know what is, I don't remember your name. Nature cures.
Exchanging of ideas. Hello, madam.
For the first time. Yeah. So group communication is nothing but you have a common group which will be aimed to achieve some common goal with a common language. You should be having a common language. Clear? Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Man is a social animal. He wants to socialize with the people around him. All of us believe in social interaction. Communication in smaller groups is easy and effective. It is like interpersonal communication in smaller groups. In the face to face interaction, one could communicate well. The communication can be in turn, after listening to the other side, we can plead with them and convince them. Here, no one is dictator. He puts forth his arguments well. So, group communication is nothing but it is called the explanation, giving differences between communication and how it is different from a group communication is nothing but it happens within a group of people with a
Team members work in a
common
project.
target to achieve.
Okay.
So has classified four kinds of groups and every group consists of a small number of people. They is human bondage over years. So group the trouble starts with leadership lobbying for themselves. They suppose వస్తుంది పోతుంది వస్తుంది పోతుంది. It's no live streaming. Guys, you there? Am
Yes,
I
madam.
audible?
We are
Yeah.
listening.
Sorry for that frequent, disturbances in my network.
No problem. Continue. We are listening you.
Suppose a function in foundation is to be observed. Leader convince the group in getting the financial styles are different, and in communication also some may fail. Some has the advantage communication and they get on well. It's on.
Madam.
Yeah.
I'm listening, madam. Please continue.
Yeah. So oral communication really plays people can guide, motivate, or support your argument, or acting the people process or in whichever level they are working.
Yes. Transforming
One place may
transmitting
not be successful at the other place.
transmitting information and ideas.
As a leader of the society, one has to tackle the situation and it's not easy task. One should have communication skills cannot be learned. It is inbuilt in behavior. Similarly, the functioning of a group differs from place to place and time to time. So this is all about oral communication relations. Next comes informal groups. What are the informal groups? In every enterprise, there also comes into being a set of informal relationships through which employees attempt to fill needs which are largely personal in nature. Recognize, recognition of these relationships is important to manage motivation of the individuals and effectiveness of formal organization. Creation of the more significant informal be considered. Employees drawn by a common somebody is simultaneously talking in the class. So that is about info which can or your friends group group their in info with their perspectives. So these opinions perspectives are okay, they are not properly formed. Suppose while you're having a lunch or while you're taking your session, when you have a Next comes interpersonal media. Media is classified into several categories as interpersonal media, folk and new media. The interpersonal media can be described as the media in which personal communication is used. They are effective in reaching group communication, annual body meetings, telephone conference. This is a communication that happens between two people, or to a small group of people. So interpersonal communication happens in a meeting. Whenever there is some sort of meeting, it can be a board meeting, it can be a casual, a team meeting every week, which is happening which happens in most of the organizations. So there, what happens to a small crowd or to a person to person, there happens an interpersonal communication. It can be an annual general body meeting also. So whatever the communication happens in annual general body meeting is also a part of interpersonal communication to a group of people sharing their opinions about what are the performances of the organization, what are the positives and negatives of it, what are the outcomes of that organization in that particular month or year or in that week. Public meetings to celebrate the anniversaries, the meetings are arranged on the foundation day. It is the best way to communicate to a large group of people about the organizational achievements or failures during the financial year or the calendar year. The head of the institutes give for who have done explanatory example could be if it is an educational the employees who have performed well. I'm just quoting an example of an educational institution. Suppose if it is a school, so in a school annual day, what happens and it will be a public meeting only where the students, the staff, and their parents, everybody come together to celebrate the event. There, the head of the institute will share opinion the organization, what are the achievements in that calendar year, the who are the various levels. It can be studies, it can be other extracurricular activities, it can be felicitating employing based on their performance, it can be a best teacher, like that. So he should be using the passion that it motivates it motivates all the people who have gathered in that meeting. Oral communication does have a role to play. Interpersonal. That month is my not stable today.
Yes.
Kindly do excuse. So a public meeting is all about that. Next comes the telephone, the conversation that happens through a phone. Okay, whenever you're speaking. This interpersonal communication gave the users the satisfaction of interaction. Fax messages and telegrams are the older generation of the publics. Finally, the telegrams have been wound up in July 2013. Mobile phones. So in 21st century gave the opportunity to interact quickly and effectively. Conference incumbents of the organization this through the communication that happens on mobile phone is much more effective. Have a conference call where you can club together your friends, you can join, add your friends or your family members and have a proper together to give a platform where okay we through social networking, we can share our views freely and frankly. In a global village, international marketing is done through network and instant messages are received. Next comes the conferences. Conferences are
ఇక్కడ
held
ఎవరైనా
to
జాయిన్ అయ్యారా
communicate the
చిన్న పి
also
శ్రీనివాస్
to extract information from it. So conferences like you know where yeah. Specific agenda is provided and the points are discussed. The head of the organization calls for the conference and the subordinates
ఆ
from different
లాస్ట్
parts
దాంట్లో
of the
కవిత
country,
షిండే చూడు
state attend with. The meeting
కవిత
is fixed
షిండే
at a common place, state headquarters or the national one. So conferences is nothing but the organization will, fix one venue where all the employees working for that organization will be called for, and there they share their, performance for that particular year. Or it can be a press conference also. Whenever there are, a mobile company launches a new mobile phone, they'll conduct a conference where all the media persons and the people who are interested will be called for and they can have an exchange of words, okay, or what the organization is coming up with new features, what are the new features of that mobile phone and what are the queries the media people or the other people who are interested in the can directly ask the questions with the management. Okay, this is about conferences. Conferences or annual general body meetings where organization will put up their performance for that one particular year, academic year or a calendar year. What are their ups and downs? What is their investment? What is their performance in the market? So all that message has been read out during this annual general body meeting. International conferences is nothing but conferences only, which are held, where all the employees working at a different levels will be called together to have a exchange of words, to speak about their participation, to speak about their performance and all. Next one's oral communication as a distinct from mass communication. Communication is an effective communication in 21st century. One of the most profound changes in internet communication in the late 20th century was globalization of media, especially television broadcasting. Wide use of broadcast satellites and continuing policies of deregularization and privatization facilitated the evolution of television industry. So what is he trying to say? Ante mass communication, especially the media, do not operate in a vacuum but interact with other groups. Okay, attract and direct the public attention, shape public opinion, influence behavior, confer legitimacy and status, inform and entertain. So through oral communication, what sort of influences you can make? Ante it can attract and direct the public attention. You can drag the attention of the people towards your message, depending on what sort of articulation, the language you use, the diction you use. Diction in the sense, great speakers are there, like in industry, what you say, in advertising industries or in serials, you have dubbing artists which are highly paid only for their voice. Hope you must be knowing about Ajay Maru. Anyone? Ajay Maru is a highly paid dubbing artist who is known for his bass in the voice. He is used for, voiceovers for a lot of governmental documentaries, projects and all. Vijay Maru. So he's a good orator, good speaker in pulling the attention of the people, shape the public opinion. Oral communication can shape, like when KCR speaks, or when Revant Reddy speaks, there is a lot of. I'm not speaking about or favoring any political party. Each leader has its his own way of pulling the interest of the people. Whenever Modi goes to any state, he tries to welcome the people like namaste, namaskara, or Sat Sri Akal. Wherever he goes, he tries to speak few words in that local language just to pull the attention of the people. Am I right? I guess I am
Madam.
making it clear how you can change people's opinion, or how you can pull the attention of the people towards your message. Influence the behavior, confer legitimacy and status, inform and entertain. Even for informing and even for entertaining, like various artists, like on Kapil comedy shows and all, there are many people who entertain us through their vocal articulations. Okay, mimicry artists will be there who can imitate best, you know, the artist or speakers or actors in one single go. It's all about oral communication as distinct from mass communication. Relative of communication. Oral communication has much more impact on audiences and it generates personal touch. In the mass media, it is not so. The message senders are at a distance
ఆప్షన్ పెట్టేనా తినేసి వస్తారా సరే
Hello,
ఆ.
madam.
the feedback is yeah. Whereas in oral communication, the feedback is impromptu and natural. They applaud the activity or discourage by leaving the hall and showing the protest. The appeal they generate is from the hearts and it reaches the hearts of the masses. So, through oral communication, like, whenever there is a big speaker in a public meeting, there is a round of applause. Whenever he quotes something or speaks something, whenever Rajni is Rajinikanth is the best example in pulling the attention of masses. Just his appearance can, I'm just quoting an example. Okay. So this is all about oral communication, interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication. Next, moving to communication skills. Unit 5, communication skills. Skills oriented professional communication skills. As we progress through our life, the sorts of skills that are crucial to our success can change and evolve. Many of us are first responsible for performing specific practical tasks and linked to our developing knowledge base. So, what is he trying to sell and tell? Ante? How to improve, how to update your skills, communication skills, just to keep on par with the contemporary lingo that is being used. Okay, like there are a lot of lingos like LOL, LOL. Okay, what is LOL? LOL. Anyone? Hello.
Madam,
What is LOL? This is all the skills what you have to update yourself. It can be oral, it can be written, are there, you have to keep updating your it is oral communication. You have to keep up your lingo to the present contemporary needs. Well aware of what is going around, and whatever the topic you choose to speak, you should be well versed with that topic. Okay, oriented profession. So that is all. Fast moment also today's class, I think. Reading skills that are important in all areas of life. The ability to communicate. The four basic skills are related to each other by virtue of both the mode of communication and the direction of communication, either receiving or producing messages. What are those four, skills? Listening and reading are receptive skills. Modes of understanding, speaking and writing are productive skills. Okay, writing. Skilled performances look easy and effortless. In reality, as every dancer, musician, and athlete knows, there are the product of hard work, hours of practice, attention to detail, and intense concentration.
ఇవి పెడుతున్నారా
Like
చిన్న
all skill.
టిక్ పెడుతున్నారా పీజీవి?
Sorry, ma'am. Like all skilled performances, a base of framework. Writers themselves agree that writing is like communicating in other language with its own set of rules and requirements. The payoff, however, is enormous. Being able to write well is a powerful skill. So you have to be a good, at good pace. You should be good at writing skills and you should update those skills. The more you practice the process, the better you develop these skills. Writing involves using spellings, handwritten, and design features to create text for a specific final product of several separate acts that are hugely challenging to learn simultaneously. Among these separable acts are note taking, identifying a central idea, outlining, drafting, and editing. Both young and old people can encounter the discouraging writer's block if they engage in more than one or two of these activities at once. So, writing is very, very effective. Next comes reading. Reading makes a complete man. This is a phrase by, quote put up by Francis Bacon. What he said years ago is still relevant. Reading is an important communicative process, and reading skills are probably the most important language skills required for academic and professional purpose. So you should be a good reader. Okay, reading is concerned with four factors: decoding, comprehending, text analyzing, and response. What do you mean by these factors, ma? Decoding. Whatever the things you are reading, you should be in a position to understand it with the intentions for what it is written. Comprehending. Comprehending ante to give a exact summary of what you have read. Text analyzing. Whenever there is, encounter with a new term, how do you analyze? Depending on the context, the meaning will vary. And the response. Okay. As a complex of decoding and comprehending written messages, reading could be quite challenging activity because the act of not always is simple. Depending on the purpose of reading, the reader will require different reading strategies and skills in order to understand the subject content and language patterns of the message. These skills include vocabulary, conceptual skills, rapid reading skills, and intensive reading skills. So these are all the things which you are not to be bothered at all. You have listening, we have a good listener. You should use a proper language and design your message in such a fashion that you give a good extempo as skills. Okay. Of changes in marker crafted messages will always have why communicate in form. I is there in document or keep written records. Once you put something into the message is there for again and again whenever they like. Successful thought and planning. Information in a components on communication. A well written piece of work requires you to pay attention to any the assignment explanation are you looking forward? We'll try to keep my things and like to. Are you there in the class? Any doubts in the assignment? Sorry, I couldn't complete my syllabus because it was a too short time for me. Any doubts, ma? At least put a text in the chat box. Vinod Reddy, Xiaomi, Tanuja, Xiaomi phone. I don't know who is that using. Rita Binu, Dinesh Reddy sir. Then we have Ali Beg sir, Vijender, and our university. No doubts. Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
హలో
ma.
మేడం,
Yes.
అసైన్మెంట్ లో
Chetan.
క్వశ్చన్ కొన్ని డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ దట్ నేను మెయిల్ చేయడానికి కానీ వాట్సాప్ చేయడానికి కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ కి పంపించవచ్చా మేడం? కెన్ ఐ సెండ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ విచ్ ఐ డౌట్?
Okay. So you want me to share my mail ID?
యా మేడం, సో దట్ ఐ కెన్ సెండ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్. కెన్ యూ ప్లీజ్ చెక్ ఇట్ దట్ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కరెక్ట్ ఆర్?
I don't think. I'm just sharing my mail ID over here.
యా
I'll just pin it up. Sorry, couldn't complete my syllabi because you
Hello,
are aware of. Yes, ma.
madam. I have completed the assignments and uploaded and close also, madam.
Done. Good one. Good job. Good job.
Yes. I'm
Good
just,
job, ma.
I got just on next month on 19th we have to write exam.
Yes, ma.
On the same date, there's an exam. Voice is repeating. Hello.
Just shared my, you know, mail ID. Just shared my to aware.